Bam, we are here. You have asked the question in our comments, and today I decided let me bring out somebody else who will have a better understanding of what this is all about. What am I talking about? The difference between a trust and a will. Should you be having a will if you have a trust? Or should you have a trust if you have a will? It's one and the same thing. But does it have the same impact on the ground? I am not an expert in this space at all. I used to have a will back in the days with FMB, and then eventually I realized I've got nothing on my name, so let me not have a will. But I'm here to learn as much as you are going to be learning, because some of these things, as I speak to a guest resident, Pateka from the legal side, my friends, I am learning, I'm going home, I'm taking notes, and I'm changing stuff for myself. So this is also from a very selfish position, but I'm also trying to help you. Pateka, welcome. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
Good. What is the difference between a will and a trust?
A will is when you, as Pateka,
Yeah.
you are deciding that when I die, this is what I want to give to my kids.
Right.
I want my daughter.
The church, the SPCA.
Yep.
Right.
Yes. I want my daughters or my children to get whatever type of assets, and I want to give something to my church, and I want to give something to my charity. So that is your testators. We call you as a testator. That is my wish.
Right.
That if I die, these are the people that needs to benefit from my estate.
Right.
Right. Now, when you have a trust, is when you are saying, well, I'm still alive.
Right.
Remember, a will, you are saying, should I die?
Yeah.
This is what should happen.
Yeah.
That is why when there's a will in place, no one can come back and say, oh, well, I don't want this, I want that. You know, in terms of what you have listed in the will, unless the beneficiaries have an agreement in terms of exchanging what is given to them. But that only happens when you die.
Right. Let me dive in into the will there, Pateka. So my understanding is that you have to die for those things to be disposed, right?
Yeah.
Now, there is an estate now, because now I'm dead, and there now has to be an estate that needs to be formed. And so if I had said that this year is going to the SPCA, so does it just move from my name and then bingo it goes to the SPCA, or are there any financial implications along the way for this year property to move from my name into SPCA?
Yes, good question, and thank you for asking that question. Yes, there is a financial implication, because in terms of your will, when you say, let's say you have 5 properties, let's say you are that property investor who never bothered to know about structures and options that are available to try and protect assets and all of that.
And we apologize up front if we're touching the studio on you. We apologize.
So you have all these list of assets under your name.
Yeah.
So now what is going to happen when you come to an attorney? You go to an attorney and you say, okay, here's the will, this, my mom is no more, and then we need to deal with my mom's assets. And now here's me as a daughter and the other daughters and the sons. So we are given these properties, and in order for me to inherit this property from my mom's estate, I need to pay transfer fees.
Oh, the receiving party needs to pay transfer fees.
Yes, I need to pay transfer fees, unless if there is enough money within the estate in order to pay for those fees or finances.
Okay, so hear me out here. So yes. I've got R1 million cash in my estate, in my bank account. By the time I die, I give my daughter the asset, and now the taxman then says, hold on, to transfer this R1 million, you need to give us 200,000, or whatever the fee is. If she doesn't have, from the 1 million that I was going to allocate to her in cash, they are now going to take 200,000 from me. So now I'm down 800.
Yes.
I've got my other son, and again he's going to be taking that. So I've got 5 sons, right? So basically the cash that I could have distributed, it's gone now.
It's gone. Because in order for all these assets to have a change of ownership,
Yeah.
then fees must be paid.
Right. Same example, Patek. If all of these properties were in the structure that we advocate, but not saying you should, which is the one that we use where you've got a trust on top and you've got a company, and let's assume all these properties were in a company, bingo, I am dead. My 5 kids again, all of them are beneficiaries in my trust. How do these 5 properties now move from the company to them as benefits? Or because they are already beneficiaries, they are just going to enjoy it? But let me hear from you.
You know the beautiful part is there's nothing moving.
Amazing.
Like,
so I've got 1 million in the bank account for the company. The 1 million stays untouched.
Yep.
The 5 properties stays untouched.
Yes.
So nothing changes.
And the beautiful part again is you as beneficiaries, as those 5 kids, you still benefit.
Pateka, why do people not do this then?
It's because we are here to educate, and they have to get the education, so that
Right.
they don't get to fear about all these other things that some people they mention, in terms of, no, there's high amount to maintain, there's high amount to maintain a trust. So the most important
There's a
is
higher amount not to do it. A higher price of not doing it.
Exactly. So if you remember on our previous video, we mentioned that when you leave an asset in your will to give to someone, you are giving that person a direct ownership of the asset.
Right.
But if you leave the asset within a trust, she still has the ownership as a beneficiary, but it's indirect. So the beautiful part again is whatever it is that you decide, now we're going back to the structure, that you want to do your structuring, then is to say, I still want you as my child to benefit from this asset. I've got trustees here that will make sure that everything that needs to happen happens. You will still benefit, but it's not an indirect benefit. I mean, it's not a direct benefit. It's an indirect benefit. Therefore, chances are you won't get. I know there was a meme about kids bashing your money because you have given them so much money, and now the child is like waking up and there's £1 million in their account, and then they don't know how to deal with that. Yet, if you have a trust and you leave that into your trust, chances are they are not just going to have direct access to that £1 million cash.
Right.
The trustees are there to make sure that whatever the needs of the child are met.
I almost feel like, I almost feel like the trust is a better custodian of managing your affairs whilst you're alive and when you're gone. And the will here is just about distribution, basically.
True.
To the people that you are wanting to be distributed to.
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
And also, I'm sorry to cut you, and also to remember that when you are listing your beneficiaries in your trust, you can also list your non-profit organization.
Right.
The charity organization that you wish to support, you can also list them as part of your beneficiaries in your trust. So in essence, to come and to answer your question, the difference between a trust and the will is that whatever assets you deal with in your will, they will only be distributed upon your death. Whereas when you register a trust, you are saying, one, while I'm still alive, let me have my kids to benefit, let me plan their future within the trust. And then when I die, that doesn't change. It still continues as my wish that when I register these assets, when I put everything under this trust and protecting these assets, I'm protecting these assets for the benefit of my children as my beneficiaries. So meaning the same way in which your children are benefiting in terms of your trust, they will still benefit when you are no more, the same way. Nothing changes.
My good friends, so I want to bring you into something else that Patika is helping me like today, right? When I got married, shortly before that, my wife and I we bought a property and it became our home. We did some amazing renovations and so on, and both our kids have amazingly grown into it. When COVID happened, we created enough space for us to have offices at home. So our house has become the place to be. Now, this was before all of this knowledge. And the reason why I'm telling you that is that I know that sometimes it's difficult to make the right decision because of the financial implication. And when we got married and we bought the house, when we got the information, our bond was still very high. But what we decided to do, myself and Jenna, is that we're going to pump in a bit of money in it, and then it's going to reduce. This is our primary home that we're talking about, that we got before the education. And of late, Patika has been helping me now to transfer this primary house out of our personal names into a company. Now you might be saying, oh, TJ, you're only doing it now. Yes, I'm only doing it now. Why? Because had I done it before, it's literally buying your own property, right? So now I need to pay hefty transfers and things like that. That I didn't have the money to, and I didn't have the knowledge on how to do it. Now, why am I sharing this information with you? Number one, we need to identify this is a risk. So the house itself, at the moment, if it's in your name, it's a risk. How do you mitigate it? So you need to reach out to someone like Patika to say, if I'm to die, what happens? If I have a trust, what happens? We had a mitigation plan around it. Then we then said, what is the plan for us to actually physically move it from this mitigation plan into the right structures? Then the right moment came through, and then we put it in there. Now, all of these, my friends, that I'm sharing with you is for you to understand that if you're getting stuck with it, you are not alone. I'm in it with you. But as we get this knowledge, it's not just about, you know, this guy TJ. Like, no, I want you to take action. Instead of getting a will, put these properties in the right structures, put a plan around it, reach out to professional people that can help you. And now, my friends, we now know what is the difference between a will and a what? Yes, a trust. It is I, your boy TJ. We'll see you on the next video.